because you can't check anything off of the list if you haven't done anything. You can't monitor your progress if you haven't started. Part of taking inventory is actually doing things, you know? And I'm just speaking to the fact that in my personal experience anyway, and I don't believe I'm alone in this, our current society with technology and everything, it can be hard for people to get started because they don't know where to start. There's just so many different things that you could be doing right now. Get back to basics and just, make things happen. All right, and we're recording. What's up, Ken? I promise I'll edit that out.
Good morning, Fenton.
Good morning. I'm doing amazing. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing. Yeah, I get another day on this earth. Doing good.
One more day around the sun. That's what's up. Listen, I'm going to get right into it. Welcome to Products of Circumstance. This is the podcast with Ken Skeen and myself, Fenton Joseph. We discuss mental health and mindset matters through the lens of Black men. This show is unscripted, unfiltered, and mostly unedited. We choose our topics randomly, and Ken's going to tell us what he's going to talk about in a second. Please subscribe, which is probably the most important thing you could do is to subscribe. And also hit the notification bell. I spoke to a couple people, and they said, I didn't know you posted a new episode. Hit the notification bell so that way you'll get an email, or if you have the YouTube app on your phone, it'll pop up and let you know that we have a new episode. With that being said, Ken, what are we talking about?
Topic of the day: taking inventory on yourself.
What kind of inventory?
So your daily
fingers
inventory would be make sure your fingers and toes are still there. No, so taking inventory. So when you tell yourself you're going to do something, accomplish a task, make sure you do it and you stick to it. Whether it be starting a new diet, starting a new business, just becoming a better person every day, reading a new book every month or every year, just taking inventory on yourself and taking responsibility for your actions. Right. So when I say take inventory, so if I tell myself, listen, I'm going to start, let's say this podcast, when I came to you almost a year now, we've been doing this. A year's coming up, the year mark. Wow. A few years went by where I kept telling myself I wanted to do a podcast. Finally, I called you up because I knew you were involved in a podcast already. So I went to pick your brain. And, you said, Ken, if you really want to do this, these are the steps. You got to buy this, buy that, research this and this. And if you're real about it, we'll do 5 or 6 episodes. That'll prove to me you're real about this, Ken. And then we'll move forward. So I took inventory on myself. I made sure that I followed all the step by step because you were the professional in the sense of explaining this is what you need to get a podcast off the ground. Whether or not it becomes successful is in your eyes or the people who watch it. But this is what we need for the foundation. So I made sure to take inventory of myself and say, I'm going to follow the guidelines that were given to me. And I will make sure that I'm taking responsibility and holding myself accountable in order to get this off the ground, which, again, we're coming up to a year. I just realized that. Wow.
Crazy. But
taking inventory of yourself and making sure that you do what you need to do on a daily basis to get to your goals, right? You set small goals for yourself, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever it is. But if you're not being accountable and making sure that you're doing your necessary steps on a daily basis, if you're not being accountable for yourself, how are you going to get there?
Did you write this stuff down that I told you?
No.
Did I text it to you? I don't remember.
You texted it to me.
Okay.
These are the basics, Ken. Get a decent camera. Just get a Yeti microphone. No, we're not being sponsored by Yeti. But get this. This is what if you have one, get an Apple laptop. If you have the money for it, Ken, it's the best thing to work on.
I remember that.
You told me all the things to get. Hey, look at these headsets. Get this. Not headset. What is
the headphones?
Headphones. So, and I followed the list, and it wasn't even a lot. It wasn't a lot of money.
Right.
I followed the list that you said. I'm like, all right, when do we start recording? I was so excited about recording. And you were like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. We're gonna put 6 episodes in a bucket.
Right.
We're going to see how those go. Show up weekly because it's a weekly podcast. So we showed up every week, every Thursday. We set a date. Thursday worked for both of us.
Yeah.
But we showed up. And that's the easiest part. 90% of it is just showing up, right? Just showing up. The other 10% falls into place as it does. But we showed up every week. And I say we because during that phone call is when you said, "Oh, you mind if I do this with you?" Hey.
Volunteering for yet another thing. Always volunteering.
So I was very excited about that actually. So
me too.
But yeah, just like I said, just taking accountability. Let's step away from the podcast. Let's say you're doing a diet, you want to lose some weight just to be healthier, fit into your old clothing again, whatever it may be. If you need to forget exercise for a second, right? Because a lot of diet or becoming healthier is your actual diet, what you're taking in. So if you're not supposed to be drinking sugary drinks like sodas, stop.
It's easier said than done.
You're not supposed to be eating certain things. If you're not supposed to be eating certain things like burgers, stop. But again, taking accountability and making sure that you're reaching your goals, and it's okay to stumble. It's very okay to stumble. Just get back on track.
So the reason why I asked if you wrote the stuff down is because I think writing down your steps, writing down the requirements to reach your goal. I'm a project manager, by trade, like professionally, and you have steps to everything. A project has a beginning and an end. So you're starting here, you want to end up here, and there's a bunch of stuff that you have to do in between. And you're obviously very familiar with this as well from your construction days. And I think that, if you take inventory literally, you can identify everything that you need to do to reach your goals when you write it down. And I think literally this morning you sent me a clip. It was like Steve Harvey, and he talked about anything that you want to do in life, anything that you dream, like write it down. And you read a whole bunch of books and get a whole bunch of TikTok reels and Instagram, memes that all say the same thing. Really successful people saying, write it down, write it down, write it down. Even the Bible says, write it down. The reason is very simple. You can look at it. You can refer to it. When you've written it down, you can break it down and you can take inventory of all that is required of you to meet your goals. And the only way that you're not going to meet your goal, if you've written it down, broken it down, and taken inventory, is if you look away. You have to choose not to look at what you've written down and ignore all of the details that you now understand are associated with it, all the steps that are associated, you have to look away from that and actively say, I'm not going to do it. And I think that is a lot harder to do once you've written it down. If you and I just have a conversation and say, yeah, man, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds. 5 minutes later, we hang up and I'm at Popeyes or Chick-fil-A. But what if I have a calendar on my wall that has the days that I'm going to the gym? And underneath the days that I'm going to the gym, I have the exercises that I'm going to do that day. Or I have a journal. So I've seen lots of people in the gym that have written pieces of paper. You know what I'm saying? And somebody might laugh at them and think it's funny that they're carrying a legal pad into the gym. Those are the people that I see that look amazing and are really getting it in. They write down everything and they monitor it and they're sticking to the script. It's a lot harder to, when you're to walk away from something when you are taking inventory of it. And so I highly recommend that, which I'm just going to say it. We say to write stuff down all the time. We talk about journaling all the time. I don't know what episode we're on, but it's been a long time. Every episode, you write stuff down, journal. Like, I hope you see a trend there. I just want to go back to the podcasting real quick. I don't know what number podcast this is, because it's not the accurate number, because we did get a couple in the bag. that were less than optimal, suboptimal.
It's
And
a
we
learning
said,
process.
yeah, we're like, man, we're not gonna push those ones on YouTube. We're not gonna do those ones. So we may have like 9 or 10 episodes that we had done initially that were just like, we can't put these out. And that was to your point, taking inventory. Let's see how it goes. Let's start and let's start racking them up and see how it goes. All right, we've done 9 or 10. I think we're in a good place now, where we can start to actually put this stuff out. We're taking inventory as we go along.
Mhm.
I'm going to stay away from the diet thing because I keep looking away.
I can't front. I do too. I lost 10 and then it just stopped. Oh, sorry. I just stopped. Let me
Please stop.
let me
I
correct
got a
that.
cruise. We're going on a cruise, a family cruise in June. And I was like, nah, I'm not going on a cruise looking like this. I gotta work it out. And so I'd started to come down a bit. I think I had lost maybe like 6 to 8 pounds. I don't remember which number
Mhm.
it was. And it was good. I started, looking at some new clothes to buy, some stuff that I have that I could fit into. I'm like, well, at this rate, you start doing the math, and it was like, I'm 40 pounds less. Like, no, it doesn't work that way because the moment you look away and stop taking inventory, I don't calorie count per se. I do like a very basic plate portion thing. Like half the plate would be like veggies, well, no, it's more like this is like a third will be like protein, and then like half will be like veggies, and then like whatever's left because my math isn't that amazing will be like a starch or rice or something, right? And I just look at portions. But even that, once I stopped, you know how it go. You're like, oh yeah, I lost a couple pounds. I can see my toes. I said, all right, I'll give myself a hamburger. It's all good. I got cushion.
A piece of apple pie.
And then you stop taking inventory and you start to go off the rails because you're not paying attention to what you are doing.
Right.
So we always got to be paying attention and write it down.
Oh man. But yeah, look, even when you're doing like we're talking about diet in this podcast, but let's say simple things like um all right, just becoming a better person on a daily basis, right? Reading something maybe that's nonfiction that helps. I understand.
I don't know why it's so funny.
I don't know either, but all right, if you don't like to read, do what I do. I drive a lot, right? So I use Audible, I use audiobooks, so you can listen to a podcast. Yeah. But if you're trying to be better every day instead of just saying it out loud, but actually trying, watch how far that takes you. Starting a new venture, it helps because you want to, you know what they say, like, so if you have a idle hands, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows the saying about idle. Good. So don't keep your mind idle either, though,
Yeah.
because then you're staying focused on social media. I've realized that I watch a lot less social media, and it was after a comment that Fenton told me. He's like, "Bro, you send me a lot of stuff on Instagram. It's usually about Porsche and a lot of motivational. Very few things I send to you are other than that. It's usually we both love Porsche.
Yeah, no, not like your brother who sends just your mind numbing. I'm gonna be edified when I get a message from you. It's something I either love and am passionate about, or I'm gonna learn something. So
So, but I started to take accountability or inventory of myself and said, listen, I gotta put down the phone because I was watching way too much social media. Even though it was educational, it was still like kind of mind numbing. So instead, I started picking up a book again, started listening to my audio books again. Um, I started drawing again and painting again. I finished a huge painting actually. I think you saw it. It was like a
Yeah,
6 foot
beautiful.
by 6 foot by 7.5 foot painting I did. But it's starting to get more wrinkles in my brain again because I realized I was turning into mush. It's not a good feeling when your brain starts turning into mush. You want to get some new wrinkles in there, learn some new things about yourself and the world. There's a lot to learn. But yeah, just again, when we say take accountability, really move forward. I saw someone say if you can't walk, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But just keep on moving forward. Because if you're stagnant, You don't want that in your life. You don't want a stagnant life. And it's not about money. It's not how much money you have either. You don't have to have money to get a book. If you can't afford a book, get a library card. And internet is free everywhere. And everyone has, I don't care how broke you are, there's people on the street asking for change with iPhones. All right? Starbucks has free internet.
Oh, me. You ain't got
You got cash.
cash at me.
No one has cash. Anyone like, yeah, I got Venmo. $5. No, but my point is, everyone has, right? Everyone's got a phone. Everyone. Oh, there's my alarm. Got to get the dog some food. See, I set reminders for myself. I had to buy my dog some food. But everyone has internet, right? That's just the world we live in now. You can research anything. It's up to you what you decide to. If you're going to research how many balloons were blown up for a holiday party, or how can I start a business? That's on you.
I want to say something. I got to jump in because one thing that happens with me is I'm always listening. I'm always watching YouTube videos, and it's something educational. Always, usually about something business related, and then tech. You follow by technology pretty closely, history, world events, whatever. But like business and tech are like my top two. And sometimes, a lot of times, I don't know what to watch. The YouTube algorithm puts so much stuff in front of you intentionally, and I'll save a lot of stuff to my watch later, folder. And what happens is I'm like, man, I don't know how I want to spend the next 20 minutes. Like, what do I want to learn? What do I want to be watching? How do I want to fill my time? To your point. And sometimes our brains will just default to mindlessness. Well, I'll put on this, I don't know, cat video. I don't watch cat videos, but I'll put on this thing that's just noise from my brain, as opposed to something that I have to be intently listening to and paying attention to and learning from actively. And what I will say is, when it comes to taking inventory, just put something on, like just begin to undertake something that's aligned with your goals. There's lots of different ways that you can improve yourself every single day. You can read a book, you can watch a video, listen to an audio, whatever. Pick one. Like, don't be overwhelmed and then say, I'm going to go outside and, shoot some hoops or, go scroll on Instagram. Pick something. You'll be better for it. We said last time, like, done is the engine of more, right? All right. You've watched that, video about how to start an LLC. Now that it's done, you can maybe get some more nuance and take a deeper dive into it, or you can put it aside and move on to some task that you have to, but now it's done. And now it's not in your watch later folder that's growing to like thousands. I'm talking about myself. Or your Instagram saved folder that has like a million posts in it that you never looked at, or a stack of books that you haven't read yet. Start to do something. And that's a big part of taking inventory, is that you're being active and that you're taking action, because you can't check anything off of the list if you haven't done anything. You can't monitor your progress if you haven't started. Part of taking inventory is actually doing things, and I'm just speaking to the fact that in my personal experience anyway, and I don't believe I'm alone in this, our current society with technology and everything, it can be hard for people to get started because they don't know where to start. There's just so many different things that you could be doing right now. Get back to basics and just, make things happen.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of distraction. It's just purposefully done.
Absolutely.
The whole point is to distract so that you don't move forward. Just be that hamster on that wheel.
And though the CEO of TikTok doesn't let his kids use TikTok,
he does not.
That's a lot.
It's a big deal. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, it is. My kid's not. She uses. I have my phone on my desk, and she'll come over. Say, Daddy, I want to watch something. So I'll pull up the Disney or Netflix app or whatever, stuff that I monitor, because not everything on Disney is for kids. And we'll pick together. That's about the extent of her using my phone. She does. I don't give her my phone, and she sits in a corner and scrolls around. Like, she's 4 years old. No. No, no. You know, at the end of the day, like my wife will come home from work and she's like, my daughter's like, I want to watch something. It's like, no, it's adult time. Like you watched stuff. You had all day to watch stuff. It's like, we're done now. TV is done for you. You're going to get a book. We're going to read and then you're going to go to bed. You know, you have to control this stuff. Take inventory, you know, especially for your kids. You can't just let them, you know, take in whatever they want to take in. There's music that we don't listen to. She wants to listen to it. She don't get to listen to it. There's lots of things that my kid wants to consume media wise and food wise that she does not because I said so, because I understand in a way that she would not, because she's 4, that it is not good for her. And I think a lot of times parents will, you know, they would rather just let the kid do whatever they want to do rather than to draw the line in the sand and say, no. Will they cry? Yeah, sure. They're tears. They're not tears of death.
Right. Usually alligator tears.
Chemical tears that are going to burn their skin off, boil their face off if they cry. They're just tears. They will get over it. And I'm not being insensitive. There's a difference between, you know, placating and appeasing your kids, you know, so that you don't have to deal with like actual parenting and being present. There's a difference between that and like, you know, stripping them of their autonomy. You know what I'm saying? That's a different thing. If my kid is like, I want to get in the car by myself. All right, fine. Yeah, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Climb on in. No, because you see I was when I, at a certain point when she was a little younger, I'd be like, no, I got you. I'll help you. Like now, if I try to help her in the car, she's like, I got it. Like, back up, Dad.
Back up.
Let me do it. What if I were like, no, I'm going to put you in the car. You're still my little 2-year-old baby. I got it. Yeah, she's going to cry and be like, get off of me. That's different from doing what you know is best, you know, for the kid. I'm done.
Thank you for sharing, Fenton.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes, again, people. So we'll wrap it up with, listen, take accountability. Make sure you're taking inventory on yourself because no one else will. People will judge you, sure, but who cares? You worry about you. You got you.
That's right.
But make sure that if you're going to set a goal, actually try to attain it. You know, follow, make some guidelines for yourself to follow so you can attain your goals, attain your dreams. It's okay. It's okay to dream big. And anyone who doesn't understand your dream, it wasn't for them anyway. But yeah,
not riding in my Porsche.
Make sure you take inventory on yourself because no one else will. Trust me, your closest friends and family sometimes, I'm using the word sometimes, happily love to see you fail because they're not taking their own inventory. And if they can't do it, why should you be able to do it? Remember that. Some of your closest friends and family. So you worry about you, all right? We're not hurting anyone, of course. Just worry physically. Worry about you. That's all I got.
Well said, my brother. Thanks everybody for joining today. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and share with somebody on their personal development journey. Take it easy.